simple. But please listen, people, it's a wake-up call to champions who are living as underdogs. This is no time for a fable, it's no time to hide or be idle. The Bible, you see, is living proof that the Father approves of us to live as champions, like a bird rising on its pinions, not scaring of the opinions of the people of this world. For of course the greater one resides in us. Horses are meant to gallop, birds are meant to soar, lions are meant to roar, but champions are meant to sound their alarm like horns, having everyone fixated on the sound of their voice, their blast. The last I checked, we are those who don't need a charm to be tagged the champions. We are those who, like Prince Charming, have everyone eyes on us, because he is for us, so who dare stand against? You see, there is a kingdom where we reign as kings, a kingdom where freedom is the birthright of every citizen. By the reason of our Father being the sacrificial lamb, we are damned from living as peasants when pleasant places have been arranged for us. They may tag us as trust-fund babies, but we are simply offsprings of the daddy where they pamper without pampers. He gives us hampers that don't hamper our progress. As a champion, we are men of immense impact. A champion is one who has decided to face the bank on God to grant him fidelity. As a champion, your prayer is that God should let you be a sterling example to others to trust in him, because he's the one with the ultimate guarantee to take you to the zenith. A champion doesn't need uproar to draw men to the raw power of God. A champion doesn't need east to rise above the limitations from the east to the west. For a champion, things don't go south because you went all out to do God's will. A champion is one who got to realize that, don't be amazed. A champion doesn't need mace to do amazing exploits, breaking the plots of the enemy and exploiting their ignorance. A champion is one who has realized that in this kingdom, it is a strategy to have no strategy, but to strategically rely on the ultimate strategist. The gist is that it always ends in victory. I mean, what strategy did Moses have before the Egyptians, if not for God's word to him? What strategy did David have before Goliath, if not for God's guidance to him? So that means that if you look at the life of Joshua, or maybe the life of Elijah, who before the prophets of Baal, who later bowed down to the God who is the consuming fire, or maybe take a look at Esther, who, on relying on the King of Kings, turned the heart of the king in her favor. There was actually a protocol on ground, but Esther simply knew the protocol in situations like that. The champion is one who has to realize. The champion is this. A champion, you see, is one who knows the God who doesn't dwell in a villa, but is the revealer of deep and secret things. The God who is not an Asoro, but is actually the solid rock on which we stand. You have to understand that for many in the Bible, being a champion is more than a play. It is a price you have to pay. A champion doesn't have to be subdued. A champion is always true to himself, because it is true that a champion doesn't beg, because their father breaks every yoke. Invoking the extraordinary is no ordinary feat, but champions, you see, are made fit to defeat the enemies. That's why it is wrong to live without the right consciousness that every Christian is meant to be a champion. Because there is so much that you have to realize that champions, although it is sounding like a repetitive statement, but it has to be your identity. But then you see, I'm not here to give you a motivational speech or a sweet talk, but the motivation behind the speech is to preach, to cause a quake, to cause sleeping giants to wake up. But now, the sound of the alarm is alarming. The timing is perfect to let you know that this is the time for champions to rise. Because in these days, God is looking for men, and is looking for many men. But then I know that we clamor we outside, but what really dwells on your inside? I know you talk on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trend, but for how many hours can you tarry? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know that you clamor Gen Z, but does Alpha know who you are? Because you see, a Gen Z without a genuine zeal for God won't last for millennia to come. You have to realize that champions are those who realize that everyone wants to be a TikToker, but as the clock ticks, what does your life talk about? You may want to be a content creator, no doubt, but is the creator contented with the life you are living? Because there is a power that content creators may have, but then as champions, you are beneficiaries of this power. I'm not talking about a zodiac sign like Aries, or Cancer that can't cure cancer, or Pisces whose peace has been turned in pieces, or Aquarius who without Jesus is just a joke for public display. Maybe I talk about a Libra who can't liberate itself. I talk about a Virgo who can't let go of self and is constantly battling itself. Or maybe a Capricorn who the Creator is discontented with. Or a Gemini who is a mini representation of who they are meant to be. But then you see that there is so much to understand as a champion if you really start living in that reality. That's why we tell you that the sum of our victory as champions is not only evidence in summer. We win not only in winter, not only in spring or in autumn. And this is a fact that the people of the world can't fathom. So I would like to tell every single champion in this room right now to arise, for your light is come. Eyes are on you. There is a duty that it must feel guilty for not fulfilling, and that is to be a champion. There is more to you than this. The Creator gave us all spiritual gifts that we may reign on earth as champions. So if you are not living like a champion, then you are living less of who you are meant to be. A champion doesn't settle for less, they wrestle for excess, because the excess love of God excessively displayed who a champion is meant to be. So why don't you just close your eyes as we sing?